My name is Alex Thompson. I was just 17 when my world imploded, all because of a lie so twisted it still haunts my dreams. Let me take you back to that summer in our quiet suburban town in Ohio. Our family wasn't perfect, but it was mine. My parents, John and Sarah, had adopted Emily when she was 10, and I was 12. She came from a rough foster home, and at first, I was thrilled to have a little sister. We grew up like any siblings, bickering over the TV remote, sharing secrets under the covers during thunderstorms. But as we hit our teens, things shifted. Emily started hanging with a bad crowd, sneaking out, coming home reeking of smoke and booze. I tried to cover for her a few times, but mostly I kept my head down, focusing on school, my part-time job at the local diner, and my girlfriend Mia. Mia was everything to me. We'd been together since freshman year, the kind of high school romance that felt like it could last forever. She had this laugh that lit up rooms, and we'd talk for hours about escaping our small town, maybe heading to college in California. Life was good, or at least predictable, until that fateful August evening. It started with a scream. I was in my room, cramming for a math test, when Emily burst in, tears streaming down her face. "Alex, I need to talk to you," she sobbed, clutching her stomach. I froze, confused. She was 15, and we'd barely spoken lately. Before I could ask what was wrong, our parents rushed in, drawn by the noise. That's when she dropped the bomb. "I'm pregnant, and it's Alex's fault." The room spun. Pregnant? By me? It was insane. We'd never even... she was my sister, adopted or not. The thought made my stomach churn. I stammered denials. But Emily doubled down, weaving this elaborate tale about how I'd taken advantage of her during a family camping trip months earlier. She claimed I'd gotten her drunk, pressured her. It was all lies, but she delivered it with such conviction, wide eyes, trembling voice, that even I doubted my own memory for a split second. Dad's face turned purple with rage. "You disgusting little shit," he growled, lunging at me. Mom held him back, but her eyes were daggers. They didn't ask on my side. They just believed her. Why wouldn't they? Emily had always been a fragile one, the rescued child who needed protecting. Me? I was a biological son, expected to be perfect. They called the police that night. But since there was no physical evidence, and Emily refused a medical exam right away, it turned into a social services nightmare instead. Word spread like wildfire. By morning, the whole town knew. Neighbors whispered as I walked to school. Friends ghosted me. And Mia? She showed up at my door the next day, her eyes red from crying. "Is it true, Alex?" she asked, voice breaking. I swore on everything it wasn't, but Emily had already texted her proof, some fabricated messages she'd doctored on her phone. Mia shook her head. "I can't do this. My parents, everyone thinks you're a monster." She left, blocking my number, and that was it. My first love, gone in a heartbeat. The family fallout was swift and brutal. Dad kicked me out that week, tossing my clothes into garbage bags on the lawn. "You're no son of mine," he spat. Mom just cried, saying I needed to face the consequences. They cut me off financially, changed the locks, and told relatives I was dead to them. I ended up crashing on a buddy's couch. Shout out to Jake, the only one who believed me. But even he got heat from his folks. Social services investigated, but Emily's story held up just enough to cast doubt. No charges were filed, but the damage was done. I dropped out of school to avoid the stares, got a second job at a warehouse to survive. For months, I scraped by in a haze of anger and isolation. I rented a crappy studio apartment with peeling wallpaper and roaches for roommates. Nights were the worst. Lying awake, replaying every interaction with Emily, wondering what I'd done to deserve this. Had I been too distant? Too brotherly? It didn't make sense. Then, one day, while scrolling through old family photos on my phone, I stumbled on something. A picture from that camping trip. Emily laughing with some guy from her school, arms around each other. Wait, who was that? Digging deeper, I remembered rumors about her dating older boys. Could it be? I started piecing it together quietly. Hacked into her old social media. Don't judge. Desperation breeds ingenuity. There were deleted posts, messages hinting at a secret boyfriend, a 19-year-old dropout named Tyler, known for knocking up girls and bailing. Emily had been seeing him on the sly. When she got pregnant, she panicked. Tyler ghosted her, and she needed a scapegoat. Why me? Maybe resentment from years of feeling like the adopted outsider. Or maybe she thought blaming family would keep it hushed. But I wasn't done. Rage turned to resolve. I saved every penny, enrolled in online GED courses, and plotted. First, I needed proof. I tracked down Tyler through mutual friends. Turns out he was bragging about dodging child support on some sketchy forums. I anonymously messaged him, pretending to be a concerned relative, and got him to admit the timeline matched. Screenshot saved. Next, the family. I waited until Emily's due date approached. By then, she'd spun more lies. Claiming trauma kept her from naming the real father publicly. Mom and Dad doted on her, preparing for the grandbaby like it was a blessing. I showed up unannounced one evening, evidence in hand. "We need to talk," I said calmly. Dad tried to slam the door, but I wedged my foot in. Inside, I laid it all out. The messages, Tyler confession, even a paternity test I convinced him to take remotely, bribed with beer money. Emily's face drained of color. She broke down, admitting everything. It was Tyler's kid. She'd accused me to avoid shame, thinking the family would rally around her and I'd just disappear. Mom collapsed in tears. Dad looked like he'd aged a decade. They begged forgiveness, offered to take me back. But I wasn't there for reconciliation. "You chose to rely over your son," I said. "Live with that." I walked out, but that was just the beginning of my revenge. Mia heard through the grapevine. The truth spread faster than the lie. She reached out, apologetic, wanted to reconnect. I met her for coffee, listened to her regrets, then politely declined. "You left when I needed you most." I told her, "I'm building something better now." It stung, but it felt right. With the air cleared, I sued for defamation. Emily, being a minor, got off light, but Tyler faced child support enforcement. My parents, they settled out of court, paying for my college tuition as restitution. I used it to study computer science at a state university, far from Ohio. Years passed. I'm 25 now, working as a cybersecurity analyst in Seattle, pulling six figures. Life's good. A nice condo, a circle of real friends, even a new girlfriend who's ride or die. But the cherry on top? Last year, I got an invite to Emily's wedding. She married some guy she'd met in community college. The kid, my niece, now 7 and oblivious to the drama. I RSVP'd yes. Showed up in a tailored suit, looking sharp. During the reception, I pulled her aside. "Congrats, sis," I said with a smile. "Just remember, every happy moment you have, it's built on the life you try to ruin." Her eyes widened, but I walked away, toasting with old family friends who'd apologized profusely. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's living well, watching them squirm in the shadow of their guilt. And me? I'm finally free. I walked away from the reception that night feeling lighter than I had in years. Emily's face, pale, stunned, tried to force a smile for the photographer, stayed burned into my mind. I didn't need to scream or cause a scene. The quiet truth was sharper than any outburst. My parents tried to approach me later, Dad mumbling something about making things right, Mom clutching a tissue like could absorb 8 years of guilt. I just nodded politely, shook a few cousins' hands, and left before the cake was cut. That was the last time I ever set foot in Ohio. People on here always ask how you know revenge is complete. For me, it wasn't one dramatic moment. It was a slow, steady realization that I had built a life they could never touch again. After the settlement money paid for college, I threw myself into my studies. Computer science came naturally, maybe because I'd already learned how fragile trust is in the digital age. By junior year, I was interning at a cybersecurity firm in Seattle. They offered me a full-time gig the day I graduated. Starting salary was more than my dad made after 30 years managing a hardware store. I sent my parent a graduation photo, me in cap and gown, smiling on the university lawn. No note, just a picture. Mom texted back a string of crying emojis. I didn't reply. Emily tried reaching out a few times after the wedding. First, it was a long Facebook message. How therapy helped her understand why she did it. How she was so sorry. How the kid, Lily, was the best thing that ever happened to her. She even attached photos. Lily at 6, gap-toothed and grinning, holding a soccer ball. She looked nothing like me, of course. Dark hair, Tyler's nose. I stared at the pictures longer than I wanted to admit, then archived a message and blocked her. Mia was harder to shake. After the truth came out, she kept finding excuses to message me. Birthdays, Christmas, random, thinking of you texts. Last year, she announced her engagement on Instagram. Some finance bro from her grad school program. I liked the post out of curiosity, then immediately regretted it because it opened the floodgates. She DM'd me right away. Alex, I know I don't deserve it, but can we talk? I've never stopped feeling awful. I met her once in a neutral coffee shop near her office. She looked the same, maybe a little more polished, hair highlighted, designer coat. She cried into her latte, said she was young and scared and believed what everyone else did. I should have fought for you, she whispered. I listened, nodded in all the right places, then told her I was seeing someone and wished her the best. She hugged me on the way out. I let her, but I didn't hug back. My girlfriend, Lena, knows the whole story. We met at a tech conference 2 years ago. She's a data scientist, sharp as hell, with zero tolerance for bullshit. When I told her about Emily over takeout Thai one night, she didn't flinch or offer empty sympathy. She just asked, "Do you ever want them in your life again?" I said no. She nodded and said, "Good. Then we don't waste energy on them." That was that. We moved in together last spring. She's teaching me to cook. I'm teaching her to snowboard. Normal, boring, perfect couple stuff. The final piece fell into place 6 months ago. I got a LinkedIn message from my dad. He'd retired early. Health issues, he said. The hardware chain got bought out, and he took a payout. He wrote a long note about how proud he was of my career, how he followed my promotions from afar. Creepy, but whatever. He ended with, "Your mom and I would love to see you. No pressure. Just coffee sometime." Attached was a photo of them on their porch. Older, grayer, holding Lily on their lap. She was holding a crayon drawing that said, "Grandma plus Grandpa," in wobbly letters. I showed Lena. She read it, handed my phone back, and said, "Your call, babe." I thought about it for weeks. Part of me wanted to ignore it forever. Another part. The part that still remembered family camping trips before Emily, Mom's terrible meatloaf, Dad teaching me to throw a spiral, ached in a way I hated admitting. So I replied. One line, coffee works. Neutral ground. I picked the place. We met at a quiet cafe in Chicago. Halfway point, no one's turf. They looked small sitting there, clutching their mugs like life rafts. Mom cried immediately. Dad tried to shake my hand, then went in for a hug. I sidestepped. We talked for 2 hours. They apologized, properly this time. No excuses, no. We were protecting Emily bullshit. Just, we failed you, and we live with that every day. They told me about Emily. She's a dental hygienist now, married to a decent guy. Lily's doing well in school. They don't push the family reunion angle. They know the door is open a crack. Nothing more. I haven't decided if I'll see them again. Maybe holidays in a few years. Maybe never. The power to choose is mine now, and that feels like the ultimate win. To the kid who accused me, to the family who believed her without question, to the girlfriend who walked away. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm better. I turned your worst into my fuel. And every time I come home to Lena laughing in our kitchen, or get another promotion, or wake up without that old knot in my chest, I know the score. Revenge isn't destroying them. It's outgrowing the grave they dug for you, and sending postcard from the life you built on top of it.